Call the meeting of January 11th, the Grafton Affordable Housing Trust to order. The first item we have, we're going to have to wait for a representative from CMRPC, so skipping over that, the 1727 Upton Streets. Just a brief update, and Andy can provide a little bit more detail from the select board's end or the town administrator's office end, but it looks like there's a resolution to the remediation and the environmental impact. And more importantly, the financing that was there previously, which had kind of hit the brakes when they found the lead in the second tank, is now back on board and should be signing an agreement with John Grant over the next month or so. Which is the entire LP and GP financing. So it should be financed through the build-out, which is pretty good news from our perspective. So over the next couple months, they'll start the planning process. In February, John will come in and give us an update. So there's not much more beyond what they talked about last month, outside of the fact that, you know, the environmental stuff is going to be handled, and then he has the money. So that doesn't necessarily mean the money is going to be there through, you know, without its contingencies. It has to go through the planning board process. If there's substantive changes in it, then of course that's going to adjust the financing and the viability of the project. But, you know, the 120 some odd units is probably what you're going to end up with.
Mm-hmm.
So although this is taking like 30 years to get to this point, or maybe 3 years, it looks like it's a go, which is good. Do you want to email Kathleen? She wants to get on for 25 Worcester Street. So while Amber's doing that, we have the draw request number 7. I would entertain a motion to accept or pay and authorize the chair to sign draw request number 7 as drafted.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. The motion carries. Amber, on the way out, I'll sign it. We have meeting minutes. I'll entertain a motion to accept the meeting minutes of December 14th, 2023 as drafted.
So,
Second somewhere?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. The motion carries. Eric. Did you send out a draft, your draft?
Of the report?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the very end of the packet.
Yeah, I know.
I have
Good.
printed copies if you want one.
Does anybody have any problems doing this the same way we did last year, which is essentially having our administrative assistants handle the report? It's going to be very similar with just some monetary changes. So I guess just a motion to authorize her to file the report on our behalf, unless anybody has some substantive changes to what's in the packet. Dan, hit me up for a motion.
So moved.
All right.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. So now we're just waiting on a link up with Kathleen. And she'll discuss 25 Worcester Street. Just to set the narrative a little bit, 25 Worcester Street has kind of gone back and forth. The organization that was awarded the bid wanted to do an option. We, of course, were rigid at the point because we had an RFP. An RFP was proposed, the P&S, and they couldn't do that. So I guess Kathleen has reached out to the states and the procurement office. At the state level said it was okay, and she's going to verify that for us. And then we can give them the okay to go ahead and change the draft. And then 25 Worcester Street will be back on the rails. And that's pretty much all we got for tonight, so we're kind of, I don't know what anybody else wants to talk about. Okay, then.
I have, I don't know if this is the right place or even committee to talk about this, but just because we had mentioned ADUs. On one of my realtor committees, we have a realtor who's also on the City of Worcester Council for Housing. And he was kind enough to forward along the zoning ordinance that they used to develop for their ADU zoning. So I don't know if anybody's interested in seeing that, or it's somebody more like planning board.
Well, it's a
I don't
good
know.
place. This is a good.
I
this is a
thought it
good
was,
place to start.
Yeah.
I thought it might be a good place to start since that is part of our housing plan.
All right. So, do you want to send the material over to Amber, and then our February meeting will just
Sure.
give you 15 minutes?
Yeah, yeah, and I printed them out too, so if anybody wants paper
Take 'em home
copies,
with us tonight.
I brought them just in case.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd be hesitant to spend too much time on it tonight in kind of official capacity without being in the packet. But
Yeah, I apologize. I just got
Quite all
the
right.
information the last couple days and I just started looking through it.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it looks, they have it nicely, sectioned out and even, like a great kind of overview of all the different things that they looked at and considered and stuff like that.
Well, it's
'Cause
certainly-
it's a big push for Worcester because of the housing shortage. They really feel it in the city.
Are you the select board rep to the master plan committee?
I am not.
Who is?
I believe Ms. Foley is.
Okay.
I don't know that we actually have an official rep. She may just pull double duty.
Well, it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to send it over. So if you send it to Amber, she
Okay.
can send it to Fiona.
Yeah,
She doubles as
definitely.
the planning board agent as well, so. Waiting on Kathleen. Giuseppe, why don't you come up? I'd just segue into this. This is topic 1 on the agenda. While we're waiting to connect with Kathleen, we can have a brief presentation from CMRPC. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you all doing? Sorry for being late.
Good. I'm going to give it over to you completely, so just provide us with the background that we need and then tell us what you want us to do.
Okay, so I guess with DLTA, there's an opportunity that opened up that I thought would be a good project to do, which would be like regional conversation and regional input into ADUs and passing like ADU bylaws. So like providing workshops and educating the general public and residents along that line. And I know with Grafton's housing production plan, it was mentioned with like ADUs. So that's what I was thinking of doing. So far Berlin's on board. Auburn said that they'll be sending over their letter of support. So what I need from Grafton is a letter of support in this, and the ADU workshops would focus into educating and also conversating along with bylaws and also providing details on like what's affordable housing and like NIMBYism and things along that line to go ahead with it. So that's kind of what I'm proposing. Basically, regionally, collectively, we do something along this line. I mean, it's kind of hard because the deadline's like tomorrow for everything. But I do know that the other towns are also interested in joining. And I just need a letter of support. So I have Berlin's. If I can get Grafton's, that'd be great. And then I know like Upton just has to send me theirs. I don't know if they will send me theirs on time, but yeah. So that's kind of what's going on with this.
So in the packet, was there an actual attachment with the, what am I missing? Do you have it?
Your draft letter?
I saw a draft letter at some point. I don't know if it was in the packet.
Yeah, it's in there.
It's in the
It's in there.
packet, but it just, I don't know what mystery link I connected to. I'm actually on the email.
Yeah, did you click the link in the email?
Yeah, and it just sent me to my Yahoo, which sent me to,
Kind of like, it was like so difficult. I was like in the high school and I'm like,
oh yeah.
this is
so
high
much
school.
Apologize, it's fingerprinty.
And this is acceptable just to have the chairman sign?
Yes.
All right, has everybody taken a look at this?
Yes, I
Our-
think it's
our
great.
Overall commitment to this, Is there a monetary commitment to it as well?
No, so I think I'm proposing 19,750. I did the budgeting today morning. So that's what I'm proposing for these workshops, and in the end of everything, I'm going to, there's gonna be like an, there's gonna be a report and basically a step-by-step on like bylaws and things along that line and going ahead with it. But there's no monetary commitment at all. It's just, I need towns that are interested, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this sounds like a pretty easy one for us. Anybody else have any comments on this particular document? Anybody comfortable with this? All right, it seems pretty harmless. I'll entertain a motion to authorize the chairman to sign the draft letter of commitment to the ADU workshop.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. I will sign that. Do you have a printed copy?
Yeah.
Of course she has printed copies. Damn.
Pass it around, I'll sign it so you can get back on the road. Do you need an electronic copy?
I just need like the
This.
PDF copy, or, yeah, I can scan it on my phone and do it that way too.
I don't carry one anymore. I work from home.
Would these be over Zoom or is it in person or?
I'm thinking both ways, either Zoom and in person, trying to get as much public engagement as possible. I have created a timeline. Once it is approved, I will share that timeline with you
Okay.
all. And we
What
could
am I
even
doing
work
wrong
through
here?
it together
Oh,
to
it's the-
input in and
Nancy.
craft the workshops however we like to do so. Yeah.
Great.
Which I'm super excited for.
Yeah, they sound great.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna give Kathleen like 5 more minutes.
Oh, Kathleen's on. She got on like at the same time that.
Oh, all right.
Right when she
I'm so sorry
started.
for being late.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Am I good, or do I have to stay here?
You're all set.
Oh, I'm all set.
You got everything you need. I just signed it and you can,
Do you want me to? Can I scan this?
Yes, that'd be great.
Okay.
That'd be perfect. And then, do you need anything else from me, or am I good?
no?
No, I think.
All right. I guess you guys have a good evening. We'll see you all around.
Kathleen, as soon as we can get you loud enough to hear on the recording, we can start.
I've asked her to unmute. She must have stepped away from the computer for a moment.
Taken tonight.
Yeah, public hearing, so I guess these guys have a policy that kicks out people who book it.
Hi, Kathleen.
Hi there, how are
Could have
you?
been worse.
Good. How are you?
Apparently there was some other message thing that said unmute or mute or whatever.
All right, Kathleen, so we can hear, I'm just gonna check with Ben to make sure he can pick you up properly. All right, we're
Yeah.
good. So just give us a brief update on 25 Worcester Street and let us know what we need to do.
So, I have some good news on this front. Todd Rodman had come back from his extended leave. We had a chat probably at the end of December, like the 28th or 29th, about his edits to the purchase and sale agreement. You may recall that we had a draft purchase and sale agreement. They had some issues with it because of the fact that they are using some HUD program for the financing, and HUD has guidelines stating that they want to see option contracts, not purchase and sale agreements. And so I thought that would be a problem, and we talked about it a bit, but he pushed back and said they couldn't change it, that this HUD program is the way that this has to be, and we had no choice. So I contacted the Inspector General's office to find out whether or not we would be running into any difficulties if we used this form of option instead of a purchase and sale agreement. And I've been assured by the Inspector General's office that we would not be having a problem, because our assumption all along is that this is an affordable housing project that's going to require pretty sophisticated financing. And And so compliance with those financing programs is part of what we would have assumed somebody was going to need. And so therefore, adjusting the agreement to address the financing requirements of HUD is within the limits of our RFP, and that we would be able to go ahead.
Would they give us that in writing?
No, they won't.
Sure.
Is it an
Okay.
email?
Yeah, is it an email
Or is
form?
it over the phone?
No, it's over the phone.
Okay. You're comfortable with it, though?
Yes, I am.
Okay. What do you need from us? Do you need an authorization vote to work on this, or are you gonna get a completed form and just send it to us for the February meeting?
Well, I think we're in the process of what we were doing anyway, and so I don't think I need any sort of formal. I just wanted to let you know that, it was sort of my holdup on it was that I was concerned that we had some issue, and the Inspector General's office, thanked me very much for my concerns. I thought that was really a nice bonus that somebody was actually thinking about this, but they assured me that because this is the disposition of land as opposed to your usual, request for proposals and that sort of thing, it sort of falls into a different category because of the fact that the land is special, the project is special, it's an affordable housing project. It's going to have all kinds of complications that would not be if you were putting out an RFP for like buying a tractor or something. And so I've been in touch with Todd Rodman to say that we'll go ahead with reviewing the draft that he had sent. You haven't seen that yet, and that I will send that on to you folks, and we'll go through it and discuss it.
So do you think that's, we'll be able to have a signed agreement in February?
Yeah.
Okay. Did they, just for the sake of updates, did they give an update on which year they were going to apply for financing? Will it be 2025?
No. Let me see if it's in the draft. What has to happen first is this sort of environmental review with HUD, and I know that that's in the works. Let's see. Yeah, so they have this environmental review that they have to do first. And so I'll check with Todd to see what the timing is on that. But that was pretty much, I'm trying to see whether there's any dates in here that he's changed. I mean, there's no substantive changes to the body of the agreement. It was just really making sure that we had this provision in there about the environmental review. No, I don't see any dates.
Okay. I mean, HUD only
but
provides
they-
financing
they
once a
would
year,
have-
right?
They, would have, 90 days after they get their eligibility letter from the Executive Office of Housing and whatever the rest of that means. I've forgotten now. So as I said, I don't see anything in here about a deadline, but I'll get that from you.
The environmental's happening after they sign the option agreement with us, though, right? They're not going to go out there before that?
Yes.
All right, because when they do, we got to go back to the town and make sure they stop mowing the lawn. And the other thing we're going to have to do is put up either some temporary fencing or something that blocks that driveway to keep people from parking on it and dumping trash.
Dogs
Okay.
pooping.
I'll mention
Yeah.
I'll mention that.
So I'm more concerned with, cars being parked there, especially, when they're going to do a lot of
They don't
topical
plow
survey.
it, do it?
They do.
They do.
Yeah. All right, so that's something for February, so we don't have to worry about it too much, but it would be a concern. And
But yeah, I'll ask about that.
okay, see if they want a fence put up,
Okay.
and that's it. Anybody have any questions for Kathleen? All right, thanks for phoning in.
Well, thank you for arranging this with Amber. I appreciate this. This is very helpful, and I'm happy to have be able to provide some good news, some movement.
Well, that means both
And,
projects are back on track, so that's a good sign.
And I'll get back to you on the draft.
Thank you.
Thank
That's pretty much it for tonight. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn in case anybody wants to go home.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
All right. We are adjourned. Thank you, Ben.